Hey y'all, I'm back with some more news from Etheria restart. So basically what this episode is going to be about is just me going over some of the requests from the users in the feedback channel, since like this kind of lets you know what the general public, general population of the game is actually thinking, what they're requesting, stuff like that. And it's one of the best ways to kind of get on top of things before the game goes live and before the devs make a move on anything, and what will trigger the devs to make a move on things. Because if a majority of the player base is unhappy about something, it's generally good to listen to that and to just use that as positive feedback and keep your community happy. That's the way I look at things. So, you don't need to pander to people, but if a bunch of people are saying that there's a problem, there's probably a problem. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So I got a couple of threads that caught my eye. Um, the first one being a thread from Thenya. It's actually the one that I have pulled up right now. Um, and it is titled PvE Needs to Change. So here's what they think. I'm just gonna read it word for word, and then we can discuss it after. So, hey everyone, this is probably gonna be controversial as hell. As a spender, a whale, and so far a huge glazer of this game, in my opinion, PvE needs to change. With a lot of discussion about unit buffs, nerfs, and changes to energy and the negatives around energy loss, I've realized there's an underlying point that most players are overlooking, and that's the overall simplicity of the PvE content. I'm specifically talking about the three main dungeons and the shell dungeons, and not the other PvE like the track and the map thing after level 45, as I think their difficulty was quite good. My major concern about this game will be the irrelevancy of PvE dungeons past month 1. With Infernal being cleared by most players, even free to play, by the end of day 12. Sorry, my guild informed me the timing here was too short, and even if you extend this to a month, is it not still too short? And essentially, endgame being reached so quickly, I am concerned that this might impact people's engagement in the game, especially those that are not 100% super invested and interested in PvP. During beta, I have seen teams with 4-star units clear Inferno. I've seen the same team clear every stage, both normal dungeons and shell dungeons, and I think this is due to the stat requirements of dungeons being too low and due to the impact of some specific units like Marble making stat requirements almost irrelevant, although not entirely. I would love to see people's opinion on whether or not PvE as a whole needs a difficulty increase. Personally, I would love to see Inferno requiring a full set of full geared 6-star units and not a bunch of 4-star barely geared units with one DPS unit at 5 or 6-star. Let me know your thoughts, guys, and I hope devs you take a look at how quickly players have essentially cleared your PvE content. It looks like it was buffed in each beta, and I think it needs one more. So as far as this thread goes, like, I mean, it's actually starting to blow up. There's already 421 comments, and it's an active thread. Like the last update was a minute ago, so like it's still going. Um, but I mean, I think Fenya's point is relevant here. If the PvE content is too easy, people are going to speed through it. I don't know how many people are going to be playing this game for the PvE content, though. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a huge impact, but I mean, I can definitely see where it would be an impact. It's a relevant point that he's bringing up here. Um, Now, like, the way that I look at it is it's kind of a double-edged sword here. So you don't want to make the PvE content too hard, because if you do that, the ones who are going to suffer the most is going to be the free-to-play players, because pay to win, like they're going to speed through it, and it's not going to be an issue. But if you make it hard enough that it challenges the play to win players, then free to play is just like they're going to stagnate and they're not going to be able to compete at all because it's going to further that gap between free to play and pay to win. Um, I mean, yeah, aside from that, like I could agree that maybe some of those modes need a buff. I wasn't playing as hardcore as others, so I mean, I didn't even get to Inferno. So, like for more casual people, I don't think it's an issue right now, but for the people who are like really hitting it hard, they're uh they're going to burn through the content. And if they have no content, like you already know what bored players do. Like they start to wander. Although, like I said before, like PvE, I'm not sure how big of a role it's actually going to play in this game. I mean, I like the story so far, um, and the auto farming and stuff like that makes most of PvE just kind of an afterthought. Like you just set your auto and move on to something else that actually requires your attention. Um, but it's a valid point, and it could very well impact player retention at some point. So yeah, I definitely thank Thenya for raising this issue, and like I said, it's getting attention. So let's see what the devs chime in with, and once they've given an update on it, who knows? Like they might not even have to say anything about it. Like once go live happens, uh, they may have already made some increases to that. Now, for the next article, um, this one is well, it's kind of more about the dupes again. So like that argument is still going, and this article comes from Ronaldo Plays YT. So I want to thank him for giving this content. And well, here's what he has to say. The revelation of dupes being applied in RTA has caused a major break in trust in the player base, and the decrease of pity feels more like a distraction for many of the players rather than something to be happy about. Even if dupes only bring stat increases, those stat increases do matter, and they matter a lot. False claims like these can be dangerous, especially as inexperienced players will believe the claims about the dupe's impact, which are just factually not true. Even, let's say, overall 5 to 10% difference is massive in a PvP game, especially if both players know what they're doing. That said, dupes in this game do way more than apply a 5 to 10% difference in performance, which in conclusion makes them matter not just a bit, but can swing entire matches by a large margin. If you aim at a competitive environment for RTA, I would highly recommend at disabling dupes for RTA specifically, as otherwise it will ruin the game's competitive integrity. I truly do believe it will be a positive impact on monetization in the long run, as not only will it build trust and a loyal fan base that will spend, but a lot of players will be playing due to their competitive nature. This will only be the case if they feel like they have a fair shot at competing. League of Legends is a great example of how to make full use of esports and players' competitiveness. There's many more points I could make in regards to this, but this is the basis. Now, as far as this thread goes, um, I mean, dupes are going to be an issue. Like, we know that already. There's a lot of people who are unhappy about it, but you also have to look at it as if I mean, I can't back that up. Like, I really can't back up dupes being active in RTA. I understand it. Like, I understand that they've got to make money somehow, but for something that's competitive like that, I really do have to agree with Ronaldo plays on this one. Um, like not everybody is going to be able to compete at this rate. Um, I've played a lot of gotcha games where there was that instability, or not, I shouldn't say instability, but like where basically the whales ruled and they just owned the top of the board, and then everybody else competed for scraps. And I mean, eventually, what you end up having is just major fall off. But at the same time, if dupes are the way that this game is going to be bringing in revenue to keep itself afloat, like you still need people spending. Like, you can't cater to free to play because free to play doesn't spend. And if they don't spend, then the game doesn't get revenue. If the game doesn't get revenue, it'll EOS. So like there's a tightrope that needs to be walked here. And I mean, I don't have an answer. I really don't. I actually like this game a lot, but I don't have an answer to this issue. Like, I mean, you can turn off RTA dupes, and that would resolve the competitive nature of it, and then just release other PvP modes that allow dupes. And like maybe that's the answer. You know, maybe more modes down the road is the answer to this. But for like for a competitive league, we'll say, I think it's probably best to turn off the dupes so that everybody can compete, including free to play. And I do think that that would be fun to have something like that set up while at the same time having a mode that ignores that and allows for dupes to be there. Um, that's really my thoughts on that. But yeah, thanks Ronaldo. Thanks for bringing that to everybody's attention and bringing your opinion into this because like I mean what you're saying is right. That's all I have to say. What you're saying is right. I agree with it. I don't have an answer, but luckily I'm not a dev, so it doesn't matter. It's not for me to answer that. So we'll just have to kick back and see. And you know, hopefully we either get some new modes out of it or get some kind of answer from the devs on it. I know they've already released a reply to the dupes issue, but they haven't released an answer to the dupes issue. So like we'll kind of see what happens with that, but I don't see anything happening before live as far as any kind of information on that. Uh, Next up, just some quick other threads that I was watching that really caught my attention. Um, there's players asking for more male characters. This has already been answered by the devs. They already said that they're going to be releasing more characters, both male and female. So, yeah, that's kind of a non-issue. As far as another interesting one is actually that there's a request to increase the energy cap, and I can totally agree with this. I can see kind of where the user's coming from on this. So basically, the way that it works right now, people are having to log in multiple times a day. As somebody who's relatively busy and doesn't have time to log in multiple times a day and set up auto farming and stuff like that, I can agree with this being an issue. Um, there's a lot of chances to waste energy, and that always feels bad. Like no matter what game you play, uh, when you just cap your stamina or your energy, it just feels bad. So like I could definitely understand that. I think it could easily be fixed. I mean, if they just set up some kind of overflow system for that, I think it would be great. where like it holds on to, oh, let's say it at least 24 hours, right? At least 24 hours worth of energy. It just kind of holds on to it. Like that would be enough. So like if you're not logging in again within 24 hours, you kind of deserve to lose the energy at that point. Because you don't want to reward people just kind of milking it. Um like you want them to log in and use that energy. So I think that's a great idea. And that's really all I have to say about that. Um, anyways, I actually like kind of going through the Discord and seeing what people are saying, seeing what people are talking about, what they're requesting and stuff like that. So this is gonna probably be a more frequent thing until the game releases. Um, on a side note, I'm probably going to start streaming gameplay of Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero. And in all honesty, if y'all have any ideas for other things to stream that you'd like to see me stream, let me know. I actually have the first Descendant, and that's actually a multiplayer game. So if any of y'all want to play on that, we can join up and I don't know, kill some robots. You know, have some fun. But I'm down for anything like that, really. Anyways, as far as this video goes, this is the end of it. So if you liked what you heard, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and also leave a comment and just let me know what you think about some of these issues. I kind of want to hear what everybody thinks about the issues that I brought up. And also let me know what you want me to stream. Like if there's something that you have a request for, I'm willing to listen. Anyways, on that note, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.